What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel. Another day, another breaking news announcement that we have to discuss regarding one of the top free agents in all baseball and his current connection with the Metropolitans. But before we get into it all I ask is that if you're new to the channel, don't hesitate for smashing that like and subscribe on. Help us get to 20K subs for our next short-term goal. And thank you guys all so much in advance for your endless support. And also, I have to let you guys know that today's show is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your #1 source for all your sports betting needs. So make sure you head over to betonline.ag by using promo code Bleav at BLEAV, so that way you get your 50% off welcome bonus. Bet online, it's where the games begin. And now, folks, let's let the show begin, because we have a bomb that came out this morning around 10 p.m. Eastern time at the time of recording this from Michael Mayer, Mets and Rise, saying the following here: that over the past 24 hours, there's been buzz with the Mets that they really like Trea Turner and very well could be pursuing him this offseason. And my raw reaction, that is, sign me the heck up. Now, does this guarantee anything? No, of course it doesn't. But knowing that the Mets have an interest in Trea Turner, like many other teams, is a great sign to see. And whether this comes of anything or not, we will find out throughout the offseason. But guys, I want to know your raw reactions in the comments below right now as you're watching the video. How do you feel about the Mets' potential pursuit of Trea Turner here, showing interest here? Because there are a lot of reasons as to why Trea Turner actually can land in Queens, why this may be more than just simply showing interest and then pursuing elsewhere. And these reasons start with the following. But of course, there is one little thing that may put the Mets back a little bit. There has been recent reporting that the Mets are unlikely to pursue players, especially pitchers, that have a compensation pick tag to them. And Trea Turner is certainly going to have a comp pick tag to him. He needs to be acquired one by, say, I think 2 p.m. Eastern time on this Thursday of the week. And if Trea gets that, he's certainly going to deny that contract. So then if the Mets hypothetically landed a Trea Turner, they're going to have to deal with giving up a compensation pick and doing so. However, I think when it comes to a Trea Turner type, you really don't care about losing a comp pick when you're landing one of the best players in the game, arguably the best shortstop in the game, alongside the Francisco Lindors and the Dansby Swansons, among others of the world. He's the top free agent shortstop infielder in the market when you have Carlos Correa and Dansby Swanson still out there. Trea Turner is at the tippity top of the list. That's why he's going to be a hot name, a hot commodity. And the reason why the Mets would love a guy like Trea is because he checks the boxes, baby. He isn't just a really good on-base guy. He isn't just hitting for opposite field. He isn't just hitting for power. He is a stolen bag machine, and he is a great high contact average hitter, as you see from his 2020 stat line here. You're looking at 100 RBIs, 100 runs scored, almost 30 stolen bags at 300 average, over 800 OPS. This guy has been lights out for years on end, and we know that far too well as Mets fans who experienced this guy simply murdering us during his time with the Washington Nationals. Himself and his teammate Max Scherzer were then traded, of course, to the LA Dodgers at the 2021 MLB trade deadline. So I wonder, is Max gonna do his best scouting impression here? You'd have to imagine he's been expressing his interest in showing what it's like to be playing with the Mets in Queens with Steve Cohen as owner to Trea. So hopefully he can reel him in. You know, it gotta be quicker than that. Hopefully he can get him in. Wouldn't that be amazing? And again, Trea Turner is going to cost you a boatload. $300 million. He's the next $300 million man. Francisco Lindor 1, Turner next. I mean, it's pretty much inevitable there. Why would the Mets do this, right? Why would they sign another elite shortstop when they already have one at the position? Where this is where things get interesting. It comes down, I think, to an extent with Brandon Nimmo. Now, Brandon Nimmo is the presumed next man up for the Mets to sign after breaking down Edwin Diaz with that breaking news deal that came out yesterday on the record breaker that we came out with yesterday on a live stream. Make sure to check it out, and we'll be discussing that further later today at 10 p.m. Eastern time, November 7th, for the Bleav in Queens podcast. Myself, Anthony Recker, and Joe Sorrell. Stay tuned for that one, folks. It's going to be a great one. But the point is that Brandon Nimmo is someone where if you bring him back on a 6 or 7 year deal, what's the likelihood of still landing a Trea Turner? It's not impossible, but you feel like it's less likely, right? I guess nothing's impossible when it comes to an owner like Steve Cohen, yeah? But the point here also is that Trea Turner can play more than shortstop. He has experience in the center field. So, in worst scenario where you do in fact lose Brandon Nimmo, maybe you even have a higher priority for a Trea Turner. Should you want to get creative, put him in center with that elite speed, and in doing so, keep Jeff McNeil at second, or you go the other route, which I think is far more likely. You get Trea Turner, you put him at second base, which he played the majority of the 2021 campaign when he was acquired by the Dodgers, with Seager at shortstop, and then you can have Jeb McNeil in the corner outfield that he knows very well. You can shift Marte or Cannon center. I would say more so Cannon than Marte, because Marte didn't play center one game at all this entire past 2022 season, so that's an uncertainty. But Trea Turner did make note that he loves playing in Queens. One of the big things that we saw throughout the season is that there was plenty of speculation that he has a personal bias to go back to the East Coast, not with DC, but definitely a contending team potentially in the division. And when asked, what's your favorite stadium to play in, Trea Turner replied the following: Citi Field. He was asked, what is one player you would love to play with in your career as a teammate? He said, Jacob deGrom. I don't know if this is a trickle-down effect of Jacob deGrom returning and bringing back Trea Turner. It's not impossible that you bring back, you bring back Jacob, you get Trea, and you bring back Nimmo, but it feels unlikely, right? We have to be realistic here, but again, this is a fun, the offseason. Who knows what's going to happen with Steve Cohen? And again, this is a guy that fits the mold for that Billy Epler, Steve Cohen mentality of guys that constantly get on base, hit for opposite field, and increase the base running. And the base running is key for a Mets team that wasn't great at it last year. Marte was really labored with how much base running he could do stolen bags wise, because he was dealing with ailments throughout the year. He's not getting any younger. Trea Turner is one of the best base stealers in baseball, and a lot of guys are going to be stealing bases next year, because there is now going to be the pitch clock. You're only allowed as a pitcher to throw to first base, I believe, 2 times, and then you're done after that. So you're going to see a lot of runners on first get a massive lead to try to steal bags. Stolen bags are going to be through the roof next year like the old days, and the bags are now enlarged, they're bigger, so it's easier to steal a bag. There's more room to get your glove on and inches to reach when you're running first to second or second to third. This is huge for a guy like Trea Turner, who is the key of versatility with his overall offensive and defensive game, which is surely elite. If you bring in someone like him to take this team to new heights, and in the scenario where you brought in a Trea Turner but didn't bring Brandon Nimmo back, you get creative with your outfield infield positioning. But Trea Turner is perfect in the leadoff spot. You have so much depth with this lineup when he is truly one of the best players out there. And you look at his connections again with Max Scherzer, with the Mets, knowing how well it is to play in Queens. He has that experience throughout his years in DC especially. He's thrived in Queens. He wants to come back potentially to the East Coast. These are all further reasons as to why this has potential of really being something special should the Mets go all in and get the job done. The question is, are they going to heavily pursue him, or is this just something where they're going to show a moderate level of interest but they know it's out of their range? That is what we're going to soon find out over the next couple of weeks this offseason. But Mets fans, I'll do it for this one. So let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about the Mets potentially landing Trea Turner? Do you like the idea of them showing interest here? Do you not like it? What type of contract do you think Trea Turner is going to get? And do you think that the Mets will be able to land him and not put him at the shortstop position as long as they pay a premium, which we all know is more than likely going to happen should he not play at shortstop? Because when you have a $341 million man at the position already, Trea would surely be at either second base or the outfield. So whatever your thoughts are, make sure to let me know them all in the comments below. And guys, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more great content later today and throughout the weeks on the channel all off season long. This is Wardy signing out. Love you guys to death. And as always, let's go Mets, baby. Peace out.